Hey there, team. Welcome to a little 3v4 on the well, at this time the new test patch. Maybe, well, hopefully, we're into February now, so it'd be a nice dream if we've actually got this out and this is the full version by now. But either way, at time of recording and playing, this is the test patch. Playing as Umbar today. So of course, Umbar faction that I usually really do enjoy, and they've still got a heck of a lot of the tools that I really do like, but they have definitely had some changes, as we'll see. Got to my side, I'll rattle through the armies and go to me last. So to my side there I've got Aden. So Aden made this map. I'm going to be holding off on putting this one out, as I say, until about February, because I think Umad's showing off this map first. We're hoping, and then yeah. But by February, I'm sure he's going around to that. So he's got these Umbar Axe Guard. So the Umbar Axe Guard, of course, being the we no longer have the Balakith Axe Guard. We now have the Umbar Axe Guard. So, and this is with, I believe, maybe 2 levels of armor upgrade. Let's check mine for a second. Yeah. So my guys have the full armor upgrade there. So it's the full, like what they would be is Balakith Axe Guard with that 1 level of armor upgrade. I believe this is them with the 1 level, then me with the 2. Because as standard, they actually start with like that savage, I think what it's called, Corsair Savages model. So they're still very badass. Definitely when you give them those multiple levels of armor upgrade, they are stacking up and they are kind of fulfilling their old role. But yeah, you've got to pack up the armor. You've got to be, treating them like that. As sort of this progression unit, I suppose. Corsair Blackguards, I actually totally forgot about these guys in my army. To be honest with you, I often don't bring them with my Umbar forces. I rely on my archers to generally do the damage for me. So I often don't bring them, but I was really needing javelins at one point in the fight, and I totally forgot that we had access to them. Belagar archers there, more Belagar archers to the side. Behind them, some Corsair crossbows, of course. Then these Belagar pikemen. So again, you can see the Belagar pikemen are looking very different there. They can stack on a lot of armor upgrades now to make themselves even sort of more badass than they were. Well, I mean, they were never like super badass, but they were a good quality militia pike. They could always receive 1 level of armor upgrade. Now I believe they can receive 2, which again, you've got to keep in mind, every armor upgrade is actually 2 levels of armor that you're going up. And finally, yeah, the Belagar footmen here, we have, once more, 2 levels of armor upgrade for them to bring them up into this really like Dark Numenorian look, which I'm really fond of. I think is super cool to see, and is allowing you to have this sort of same aesthetic across your entire army. It's expensive. It's a very expensive way to play, but if you do decide to have that across your entire army, which I think I've got across most of mine, you can get a really cool look. And then your Royal Guard there, of course, as they are. Alcarondas Legion, more of these Umbar Axe Guard. These Corsairs are quite interesting. So these Corsairs are incredibly cheap, and we can get many of them before the price increases. Yeah, when I first did it, I had to ask the guys. We were all in a voice channel together. I had to ask them, is this correct? Is this a bug? Should I abuse this? But no, that is very much the case right now. That's the current plan. So yeah, you're going to be seeing a hell of a lot of these Corsairs because we can get heaps of them, as I say, and they're not bad. As long as we don't get them shot at, they can do a little bit of damage in melee and just grind the enemy down. Those very desperate folk. More Corsairs over there, and then he's got his general in with the Harbingers of Castamere. Is that a different? Have we changed the Umbar general model? Maybe not. For some reason, he looks a little different than I'm used to seeing. We'll zoom over to my ally on the right here. We've got Winged Swordsman. Royal Guard. I suspect, I'm just generally going to call out things that are a bit different. He's actually gone for 2 Rangers of Castamere. Rangers, of course, no longer body piercing. Just sort of this long range, very accurate, high damage fire. But 2 of them, because you go into the red limit after 1, I'm pretty sure. So the second one's quite an interesting shout. But I trust Winged a fair bit here. The Narrow Sentinels, of course, you can get 2 of them. I think you can get 2 of them now as well. Axe Guard there, Alcarondas Legion, and then again heaps and heaps of Corsairs. This is what we're just going to be seeing from everybody, I'm sure. Warlord next, or Warlord finally? No. Cool. So he's got his Sentinels, Sorry, wait, is this a 5v3? This is a 5v3, I think. I called it out as a 4v3 at the start, but no, I believe it's 5v3. Again, tough to really tell what he's got. He's got these Merc crossbowmen. 2 units of Merc crossbowmen are a cool shout. Definitely good for a siege, attack and defense. Medex has done the same. It's a very high damage crossbow bolt there, and of course being on a horse allows you to do some fun stuff with it. Harbinger Castamere, yeah, anything crazy? I don't think so. And you can see, so the Belgar archers as well, when we get back to my line, the Belgar archers can receive that same armor upgrade as the Belgar footmen. So here's my forces. We've got the Rangers of Castamere, Belgar archers with that double level of armor upgrade to bring them up into that aesthetic. I love that. I adore their shields. With that, I think they look so cool. You gotta keep in mind, stats wise, they're still, you know, that high tier militia stats, but bringing up that armor is allowing them to really go toe to toe with some damn good quality units. And then the Belgar footmen behind, again, that double armor upgrade. Make them look like the Numenorian shield guard, you know. Umbar axe guard, again, double level of armor upgrade, but I normally always do that with my Balakith axe guard anyway. I love my shock units to have decent armor. Sentinels, again, how many sentinels do I have? Do I have 2 sentinels? Yeah, so I've gotten 2 sentinels, so I think, yeah, you can grab 2 of them, but then I have given my Belgar pikemen that armor upgrade as well, that double armor upgrade. Royal Guard behind, and then again heaps and heaps of the Corsairs. So this is as many as you can get for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can get 6 of them before you go into the red limit, which is wild, very wild. So we'll go to 1 times speed. Yeah, we'll look at Dabo's forces. Dabo deployed out here, but we do have a bit of a grace period. I could have done that all in sitting at 1 times speed, but I thought I wanted to get everybody while they were still in a decent formation. So Numenor, so this is a nice Numenor versus Umbar sort of scenario here. So sort of fallen Numenorians clashing with their still faithful kin. It's quite a cool shout. So we're going to be seeing a lot of these. We share a lot of units. The Royal Guard, right now the Royal Guard having these red capes. They used to have the blue capes. I'm wondering, is that something that is going to be changed back? Or are we going to be sticking with that red cape for whatever reason? So I don't quite know how the modding sort of situation works. The Adunheim shadow bows, again, they are not going to be body piercing anymore. They're just going to be this long range, accurate, high damage arrow. Sentinels, of course, from Dabo. It's kind of nice to do this as they're running past us. The shield guard there with that AP. Steel bowmen, of course, especially me, relying so much on that armor value. I've spent a hell of a lot of money to get that armor value, so I do not want to get shot up. And of course, the Farazim Swordmasters, absolute devastation. Are those human swordmasters. Inside the city itself, or the settlement, we've got Hidden, another Numenorian force, of course, the seafarers there. And where the heck did he have his forces? Jumbled up over here, making their way over. Belgar archers, so again, they can probably, I suspect, I don't see why not, they'd probably be able to receive the same levels of armor. What is up? I've got my tea. I need to take a big glug of that. I was going to wait until I finished the army overviews before I started drinking my tea, but I need it now. Those archers can probably receive the same upgrades that ours can. Don't know why that was so difficult to say, but they've maybe not received that. As a defender, you can keep your archers safer. You've usually got the height advantage to avoid being shot. You've got things to hide behind, so you don't really need the same amount of armor value. For me, as I'm attacking, I really want my archers to be as armored, as shielded as I possibly can give them, just because I'm using them to soak up enemy fire. So that's why I've invested so much into my Belgar archers armor. Goodness sake, what pops? This is a shambles. But yeah, so this settlement is one main way in here. It's a bit jumbled up. You could sort of argue this is 2 entrances, or you could maybe even argue it's 3. But primarily, you know, if you wanted to just defend this location, you can make this 1. I do like it when settlements have this sort of vibe. So if you've got a lot of defenders, you can maybe hold all the outer choke points. But if you don't have as many, you fall back into sort of the intersections. Again, over here, you could make this a 2 entrances, but you can limit it down to just 1. And then over here, we have 2 entrances. We've got these, well, arguably 3, but again, if you wanted to just hold this position instead, you've limited it down to 2, just crossing the bridges. So again, some bridge plays going on. There's a bit of tomfoolery, of course, as because getting across bridges can always be a little bit of a nuisance. But hey, we know what we're doing here. Every player here is quite skilled. You know, playing this as part of the EL Discord. So pretty sure pretty sure this is the EL Discord that I was jumping onto. So very much appreciated that the boys pulling me in for that, and they have been inviting me to a few more fights, but it's just been a very busy time. I hope to get a few more done with them before I zoom away. At time of recording, that is fast approaching, about 2 weeks. That is, I say fast approaching, I need to get my tetanus vaccine updated. If I don't get that tetanus vaccine updated, then we're in a bit of a worried state, but shouldn't be a problem. Should be able to get myself swooped in to get that sweetest tetanus juice in my veins. We'll jump up 2 times speed. I don't think it's going to take them too long to get themselves sorted out, but yeah, we'll just settle up here. So yeah, nice little siege, nice little scenario. Actually, is there an before I zoom in? Is there an entrance over here? No. So they do have like a sort of a safe southern side. This is, well, arguably that's an entrance from the southern side, but this is primarily where they're holding. 3v5 is always pretty tough. Numenor does have some great tools to sort of make that a bit better, a little bit maybe more possible for them. But Umbar has got some damn good armor, which is always a problem. And now with the Corsairs, we also have mass fodder. So I think with a bit of practice, I think Umbar can be. I think with a bit of practice, I can really make Umbar an absolute devastation on a siege attack. Even, unfortunately, as my heart aches, my heart absolutely aches. There was something missing from that army that some people may have been able to notice. There are no Balakith shield bearers. Absolute. When I saw that, I was in tears. I adore my Balakith shield bearers, so losing them is a devastation for me. But something's got to go. You know, that's the way it is. Anyway, yeah. So lacking that, getting these shield wall pushes is no longer something that Umbar can rely on, because I mean those Balakith shield bearers, they were mass 8. They were, you know, they had more mass than the Blackguard of Barad-dûr. Less numbers, of course, but still more individual mass. So they were an absolute devastation on the push. Only outmassed by the Blackwatch Legion. So really, lacking them is going to mean that Umbar's got to attack in a bit of a different way. You can no longer really rely on that orcish sort of pushing strategy. You've got your armor, you've got some very high damage crossbows, javelins, all these other fancy tools though. So, you know, and then in addition to that, the Corsairs bringing you those heavy numbers just to wear down the enemy with a bit of a fodder approach, if that's the way you want to do it. Dabo setting up here. It looks like generally Dabo on this side. Let me zoom the map in just slightly. Looks like Dabo generally set up over here. Ty is facing off against us mainly. And over here we have the final defender hidden. So each defender taking a section, especially when you're all the same army, I think that's generally the best way to do it, just because you can keep your attention on one area rather than jumping around. But the boys are good. The boys will be slipping things back and forth as and when they need to. Especially because, see, Dabo's got what is gearing up to be basically a 2v1 over here. Tyus has definitely a 2v1 with myself and Adin coming at him. And over here, Hidden looks like he's primarily going to just be fighting... Oh, no. Warlord looks like he's probably split his army in half, which is a good shout. So it's primarily Modexa, but it looks like Warlord has sent a part of his army there and a part of his army over to this section. So that's some good stuff from the boys. I didn't really spend too much time looking over here because, of course, I was playing on this end. So this is where I'll be focusing a lot of my attention over here because, of course, this is where I was playing, and this is where I can give the best insight into what I was planning. But Everything else is very interesting to me to kind of understand how and when things happened. Because I remember various breakthroughs and so on, but it's always good to know. Okay, so we have started. We can see the mercenary crossbowmen from Medexa. They've tried to come forward, get some of that high damage crossbow fire into the lines, but they've been fended off by the Royal Guard. Definitely a sort of a sound shot, I feel, especially up against sort of those unshielded cavalry. Cavalry being a very nice big target, quite easy to hit that model. Unshielded, again, awesome. Nicely armoured, or not so much nicely armoured, but at least some level of armour. Shooting into the Belegar footmen is interesting. I would definitely try to... Oh yeah, so you can see that's 2 levels of armour upgrade there. Let me just grab a quick shot of this, because I may forget. I'm sure I'll find something different later, but it's good to have something. So yeah, Belegar footmen taking some fire there, but I don't know if I'd be that upset, to be honest, if I was a defender. But losing so many of those Merc Cav, he's going to have to be a little more liberal with his targets there, because he's going to take longer to use up his ammunition. So Tyas over here can actually just plug up the bridge itself. So Aden's got a tougher assault than I do, because I've got the bridge and this slope here. He's got to hold this wider section. He can't just hold me on the bridge. So I've got a slightly easier way to push than Aden does. Also, this was one of the first, maybe. It was either the first or it was definitely one of the first siege fights I'd actually done. So I made that comment to the boys, you know, feeling a little bit nervous. So you'll see Aden is kind enough to send me a little bit of support here and there too, and I appreciated his guidance throughout the fight as well, of course. It's always good to have that, and it's a nice way. It's a nice thing when you're in a voice channel with somebody. They can give you these sort of immediate, like, oh, Winnie Pops, maybe try do this. Try not to get your boys shot up like this. Do this instead. But yeah, so Aden's actually coming forward with a really nice push there. Let me slow down for a second. You can see the effect of that. Yeah, double armor upgrade on those Belegar footmen. Belegar footmen usually a unit that would get sliced and diced to pieces by the Numenorian cohort, but just that extra armor, that shield wall push. And we are getting some good work. We actually inflicted some decent casualties onto those Numenorian cohort. Numenorian cohort, of course, being no joke. And in no short supply of those Corsairs, anybody, so we're going to be sending them in constantly. And that's just providing a little bit of, as the Belegar footmen are doing their nice, disciplined, careful jabs, 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 the Corsairs are a little bit more fanatic with their little slashes. So I'm... a little bit slower behind. Yeah, you can see is Aden coming forward on this bridge and me flooding in behind him. We're going to be clashing shortly over on this section. No contact yet. No contact yet, but very close stare down. You see both sides leading the way with what is up with my voice today? Goodness sake, it's like my brain is slowed. Anyway, sorry, the Belegar footmen with those double levels of armor upgrades staring down the un-armor upgraded? No, looks like 1 level, or maybe none. Maybe none. It's always tough to tell that first level for the Belegar forces, but I think none, because you're seeing so many of the sigils. Usually if you don't see any of the sigils, then that's the sign. Fires and Swordmasters taking some fire there from the Rangers? No, just standard Belegar archers from Warlord. Yeah, I definitely got the impression that the Fires and Swordmasters were freaking priority number 1. Bring them down whenever we possibly can, so it's good to see some shots going into them so early. Over here, Medex's archers coming in behind his Belegar footmen. Over here, you have both of them receiving that nasty armor upgrade for that very sort of Numenorian style. They may be men off the Belegar coast, but they have at least been armoured up in the style of these great Numenorians. Or perhaps when they receive that double level of armour upgrade, you can be justify them as Numenorian troops, perhaps. Royal Guard coming closer now, adjusting their position from hidden. Medexa, is this? Yeah, primarily just Medexa up here, which this is sort of a... I mean, that's quite a good idea, arguably. Doesn't look like Warlord has too much over here. What normally I would do, when I play this kind of like split focus style, where half of my army is coming to one choke point and half it is going to the other, usually what I will do is I will try to use up my forces, my reinforcing troops quite quickly, just so that I don't have to pay attention to that section. I will send over some fodder and have that be the unit that does the initial grind, or that be the unit that takes the initial fire, so that whoever is the main attacker in that section is going to come in from behind me. We go back to 0.8. So I got a little bit of an archer exchange with him there. He's going into my Belagar archers. Yes, a lot of these Corsair crossbows were probably the primary target, but we're sort of absorbing a bit of fire from there. I was able to shoot back at them just a little bit, but again, not really doing too much. I've not made contact just yet, but I'm gathering up my forces. You can see I've got my Corsairs coming up there now. I'm not really wanting to just like go at him willy-nilly. When I get stuck in, I'm kind of wanting to make sure that it's a push worth something. Shots coming up and over. Oh, Royal Guard, they're taking, that's not poison fire, that is armor-piercing fire from the noble for legendary steel bows of Numenor. Oh, that could be a shot. Let's see if we can position ourselves nicely. Very good. That's kind of cool. Maybe again over here, because you got like the settlement in the background. Maybe that's a good. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Nice stuff. I'll take a shot of that, maybe. Anyway, steel bows rattling into the Royal Guard. So yeah, definitely not something we want to be losing too willy-nilly, but at least it's coming into their front and left side, so the shields are coming into play. Somebody's got to absorb that steel bowman fire. So I'm grateful that it's not my troops, I suppose. Over here, still just kind of a stare down. Are shots coming in? No. Warlords, Belagar archers are just standing by. Oh, crossbows though. Some of them firing. Oh, okay. Yeah, they seem to be going straight. And once again, they're just going into the Belagar footmen. We seem to be sort of doing that across the line. So when I see multiple players doing something, you know, if one player does something that I maybe disagree with, I'm thinking like, I don't know about that, you know. Maybe was that a miss, you know, are they on automatic fire? Was it a misclick, or was it just a bit of panic? But when I see multiple players doing the same thing, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. It's rare. It's very rare, of course, but sometimes I can be wrong. Those Corsairs, I say, being such a cheap unit, they're not really going to be too successful in this grind. Those poor Belagar footmen taking a bit of a beating. I think you can see some of those hits were actually coming to their right side. They were staring off against this slope. To the face, they'll do okay. Seafarers and Nendamos. I mean, if I could be coaxing that Seafarer's fire into my Belagar footmen, I'd be okay with that. As nasty as it looks, and I mean, you've got to keep in mind as well, with those 2 levels of armor upgrade, that's an extra 100 florins, 100 coins, whatever we want to describe it as, in the Lord of the Rings setting. Coming into that, so it's lifting up the cost quite a lot. Okay, I'm kind of maybe we need to get stuck in now, Windy Pops. Good, we are. Yeah, because I was sort of letting my Corsairs fight away. They were actually not too bad in that fight, so maybe that's why I left them for a second. But got my Belagar footmen shunting in there now. Maybe it would have been a good idea, even though I'm not really intending to burst through just yet. Maybe it would have been a good idea to have done that push in shield wall, just for the sudden attack and damage caused by that, as you're shunting those forces back. But I'm coming in pretty hard. I was pretty late to the party, but we're showing up now. We're doing some decent work to the Numenorian cohort. Generally, if I'm seeing, you know, balance is even, which I'm not seeing anymore. But as an attacker, if I'm seeing like a balanced fight, that's a win in my books. You know, that's going well. So now it's gone back to sort of defeat is certain. I mean, I was okay with that. You know, you're sort of expecting it at this early stage. Okay, it seems a bit muddled. Right now it seems a little bit muddled. That AP from the shield guard is going to be a bit of a nuisance against my boys, though. I'm not going to enjoy that. Over here, Numenor cohort just slicing and dicing with these Umbar axe guard. Definitely quite a nice unit to have up on the front, up against these Numenor cohort, but they kind of need something to back them up. And once again, you know, a unit that we're going to be calling upon over and over again are these Corsairs from Aden, because yeah, they're just cheap as chips, really cheap for what they do. Yeah, they will be absolutely shredded by arrow fire. They will die very quickly, even to melee. But hey, they're good to have, and it's good to have some sort of fodder. Over here, Merc Crossbowmen. Nope, shifting back. So Winged and Warlord, they're doing what I would view as my more normal strategy. of coming in, as I say, much slower, using much, trying to use my arrow fire, especially, as Umbar. When I don't bring javelins, I focus on my archers. I want to use them. Now this is quite a cool shot. He's actually hitting their right side. Yeah, I mean, Belegar archers, they're not the massive heavy damage arrow, but hey, if you've got a right side shot when you're ignoring that shield, absolutely take it. So of course Dabo is focused on that, and maybe he's seeing this coming and he's just sort of, because he's not lost a guy yet. So he's just like, yeah, hell, I'm spread out, I've still got good armor, I don't care that you're ignoring my shield. But he would want to just do a little shift around. Looks like he's trying to pull back anyway, but because if those guys are facing the enemy with their shields, they ain't going to die very easy to that fire. Steel bows, thank good. Oh no, that was shield guard. I thought I was seeing Numenorian steel bowmen coming into the fight there. But Tyus has actually already sent his sentinels on in. And I don't really have much right now to counter that. I don't really want to send my sentinels forward, because there's still so much ammunition that could be coming at them. So I'm kind of just doing this grind away. I was very happy with this grind at first, but now that the sentinels have turned up, it's a bit of a different story. You're seeing another unit of Corsairs. So there's 2 units of Corsairs in here, and a Belegar footman unit grinding away. That's just one Belegar footman, though. And this is really where I'd love some javelins. Just 1 unit of javs right there, my black guard, just hurtling over into the sentinels. I know sentinels have shields, but still, it'd be alright. So you can see Aden coming forward once again, grinding into these Numenorian cohort. He is taking a hell of a lot more fire than I am. I've got a lot of shelter. My push, because I'm hidden from there, sort of hidden from the left there, not perfectly, but a bit hidden from there. The only place he can shoot me from is straight ahead. So it's either my shields are going to come into play, or he's risking shooting his own guys in the back. So as long as I don't let this get too spread out, this is definitely the nicer place to attack from. So Aden's, once again, being a bit nice to me. He's taking the worst position to attack. And I'm coming in myself there. Once more, Corsairs clashing alongside these unupgraded Belegar footmen from Warlord, trying to sort of wear down this defensive line. But once more, these Numenor core are just tough to best, really, really tough to best. You can see I've not brought, no, I'm sure I did. I must have brought some of those Castamir's warriors. What are they called again? Not Castamir's. Alcrondas Faithful. That's what they are. I must have brought some Alcrondas Faithful. Because, yeah. No, did I? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm absolutely stubborn. I think I am. My heart is still broken. Yeah, I don't think I brought any. My heart is still broken with the lack of the Balakath Shield Guard. Because, I mean, that's the way I would normally do it. I wouldn't actually take any... I never took Alcrondas Faithful. And you can see here, I'm trying to sort of push in from the right side. I'm doing that to gain shelter primarily, but I think it's actually a bit silly of me. I think I'm getting more shelter if I'm just lined up along the line rather than bulging up there. Seeing this arrow fire coming up and over from those shadow bows, Now this is maybe where the shadow bows are coming through, because, you never want to do that up and over fire. But because of how accurate they are, oh dear, fire arrow fire coming into me now. That's quite near the front line, so you're seeing that guy's burning, so he must be getting the occasional shot of friendly fire. Right, I'm going to turn it away from the mic, and I'm going to try and clear my nose. So hopefully, yes, friendly fire, nice. So hopefully it won't come through too clearly on the mic. But if you do hear a quick sniff or sneeze, then my apologies. Sorry about that. Feeling that. Oh shoot! I was feeling better for about 2 seconds, but no. I think we're just a little bit stuffed up today, unfortunately. I'll try and clear out my sinuses later. It's just been cold, been a chilly time, so I'm very, very excited to get down to Africa, get down into the into the warmth. That's what I'm off to do it for. Over here, looks like Medex's assault is actually going quite nicely. Hidden's got a lot of resources to spend on him, because he has sort of got this, he's only really got 1 attacker to deal with, but that is going to mean that Hidden's got to focus elsewhere, but split off some forces. If people need, if the other defenders need reinforcements, it's going to be falling to him to fulfill those needs. And yeah, so he needs to be paying attention, as I say, to the general area. He can't just focus solely on this, as say Aden would be able to. Over here, still grinding in, having again victory. Up against those sentinels. Yeah, so doing a little shield wall push there, trying to break through the right flank. Oh, and there's nothing really around. Come on. Yeah, push, push, push. Yeah, you're seeing a few of my guys getting through. Yeah, Seafarer's answering to that now, and Tyus has got his Royal Guard there too. But if I can try and just breach that, which you can see, I've got this fresh unit of Corsairs as well. Fresh units just running across the bridge now. Just trying to flood on through that gap. Defeat is certain even for the likes of the Sentinels there, so I was very, very happy with that. And it's showing the real worth of those, Belegar footmen, and even the worthiness of the Corsairs to actually do some good work. Right, so you can see I'm trying to sort of come back to break the right side, but I really should just try and keep on pushing through. Okay, I am. But I really need this busted open. So you see Numenorian Shield Guard and the Royal Legion of Armenelos. So seeing those Royal Legion come up, that again should be a point where I've got my javelins ready to go to rattle at them while they run across this open terrain. So I see that coming. I realise there's no point in me just trying to plug that up. Let's just try and roll this line as quickly as I can. But those Numenorians are going to be stubborn and difficult here. So trying to sort of breach that. Maybe I can get a little bit of a situation going on here. But the Royal Guard are opening up now with that fire arrow damage. That's going to be pretty damaging to my morale for my Corsairs. Firepower from here. Got my Belegar Archers. It's just Belegar Archer fire, but that's a nice big clump. We shouldn't really be missing many of those arrows, boys. Get those shots in. Got my Axe Guard trying to respond to this too, but there's already this hail of fire, so it's a bit nasty. What I would have really loved to have done is say as soon as that breach got created, move my Axe Guard forward. I think that was my plan generally. Just move my Axe Guard forward through the gap that I had just created, and then get the Axe Guard behind my enemy. So I've not really been able to do that, or not been able to do that in time. You can see the Axe Guard are trying to run up to do that, trying to get through. Royal Legion plugging that gap up solidly now, and I'm not really going to be getting through. But that has required Dabo to send over a little bit of support, so hey, I've achieved something maybe. And either way, killed a good few Numenorians there with that little action. And, caused him to really focus his fire on me, instead of just continuing to pour it all into Aden. But you see, Aden is in time with that. He's making a push of his own. He's got his Alcarondath Legion. Oh, sorry, Alcarondath Legion. The Alcarondath Faithful. They're the mounted. Yeah, they're the Milicav. I think they might be. I think the name is maybe changed for them now. Perhaps not. Either way, Alcarondath Legion coming on up, but they are having to deal with the Pharazim Sword Masters there, and that is something that they are not really built for. They're damn good melee infantry, but yeah, that's going to be a bit too much. And also, we've got these 2 units of Seafarers arriving from Tyus, and he really wants to put a stop to this now, and just pour his javelins on into that section. Still got my Belegar Archers set up, footmen there, Belegar Archers here. Really need to maybe get a bit more aggressive with the likes of my Rangers. You can see I've still got some reserves. Belegar Pikes, I've not sent any pike forward actually. Have I? I must have. No, I've sent a unit of Belegar Pikemen forward already. That must have been why I was actually having a bit of a chance in that engagement there. Was, yeah, you're seeing some Belegar Pikemen involved in that fight. Corsairs running off 103. I'd hope for them to come back. I think 103... Maybe I'll get unlucky, but that should be something that returns. Over here, continuing the grind. Belegar footmen up against these forces here. Oh, some of those Numenorian cohorts showing their backs to the enemy. Very good. We get a bit of damage done there. But yeah, the... Ooh. Was that mine? I think, because sometimes the announcer makes mistakes. I'm looking for a Harbinger. I think the announcer meant that one of my allies had died. Yeah, my Harbinger's still alive, my general's still not Oh shoot! No, I put him in with the Royal Guard. That could have been my general. No, he's there. No, okay, it wasn't mine. I think that was my ally Aden. Because that looked like it was over here. I saw a bridge. Yeah, and that makes a bit of sense. So what we at percentage-wise? 31 for 19. It's not pretty right now. It's not pretty from the amount of firepower we've been taking, of course. But yeah, as I say, the issue is just how, because they've not defended the bridge itself, they can get these shots into the backs of Aden's lines. Occasionally, yeah, left side, perfect. But some of those guys are straight up just getting blasted in the back by those arrows. Javelins or whatever shots are coming down from that position. Oh. Yeah, so you can see Aden trying to sort of reposition. Oh, no. Trying to sort of stop these guys from getting around. This is really nice from Tyus, because he's got these guys around. Some of the Umbar forces are having to turn, face this side, sort of jab away and attack them, which is allowing a perfect shot on their backs. Very, very nasty. Farazim Swordmaster's still very healthy, even with very close range arrow fire from the Belgar archers, clacking and smacking into them. It's not going to get through their armor. It's going to be very much very difficult for that. Some routing going on here due to artillery fire? Must be. Nothing else is really causing, or maybe just a lot of close range arrow fire. Could have just been arrow fire that was causing all of those burnings. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, that's definitely arrow fire. I just saw so many troops burning at the same time, I thought it must have been an artillery piece. But it looks like the attack here for now has been, once again, pushed back. But that is just exposing these weakened Numenorian forces to firepower that we can start wearing into them. Over on this position, Modex is coming in pretty hard. So Modex has got to be a bit careful with his resources. As I say, he's by himself. He does have a little bit of support from Warlord, but more just as a... Oh, it's an Alcaron Legion, so they'll be able to do something for sure. But that's pretty good. It's something that you can just chuck into the fight. You don't have to worry too much about it. I would usually, if I was in this sort of situation and I had to send something over, it would probably be, it would be the likes of a, Belgar Footman and then, an Alcaron Legion. I wouldn't want to send over something like an archer that I've really got to put attention into. I've got to pick the targets off and everything like that. But yeah, Medex is pushed all the way over here now. Shadowbow's opening up into this little... into all of his troops that he's got gathered up in this little hollow. One mercenary crossbow remaining. That's very cool. I'm surprised that guy's not broken, especially for a mercenary unit. Looks like he's definitely out of ammunition though, so he's got his blade out. He's very bloodied up, just leading the way for Medexa. He may be a mercenary, but a lot of his good friends have fallen today, so this is personal for him now. Shots coming up and over again. More and more firepower going into Aden's formation. I was just absolutely blessed that I was not being targeted, especially now you're seeing this massive blob of my boys here. Don't know why I've blobbed up this badly. Goodness me. That is just begging for artillery fire. Right now, there's not any sort of body piercing, so that's great for me. I kind of love that we've got this very dark black on the left side, the sort of the browns and reds of the Corsairs, and then this black line on the right from, again, the armoured up Umbar forces. That's quite cool. But the Corsairs holding this formation back quite nicely. Seafarers coming up now, though. And yeah, that blob is going to be a perfect little target just for javelin fire. You're not going to be missing anything here. Every single one of those javelins is going to find their mark into somebody, even if it's a Corsair. It's you'd rather hit a Corsair than miss. And putting more stuff in there now, you could argue I really should pull something back to let these sentinels come on forward. I think, yeah, this whole blob situation is a bit silly for me, especially because there's nothing... I don't have any shield wall troops to be breaking through there. Over here, no clashing right now. Warlord and Winged giving some time to just sort of look over their losses, gather their thoughts, and make sure that they're coming in properly, instead of just a bit willy-nilly. Over here. So this is the... There's a new version of the test patch, so that's why I'm doing this right now. I want to get this recorded up so that I've got this stowed away, so I can get rid of my current test version and get that new one downloaded in. I'm having a bit of trouble downloading it as we speak, though. I'm going to have to try and get some help. It's being a bit strange. It seems to be getting to like 98% downloaded, and then it says to me, yo, you lost connection, sorry. So, very strange. First few times I thought, heck, maybe I did just lose connection. But no, there must be something odd. So either my... there's something weird, maybe my virus, my antivirus is blocking it, perhaps? But no, there must be something causing it. So you can see I've got my sentinels there now, but... I was wondering that. Okay, no, my sentinels are fighting, just not all of them. Very odd. So they're not in guard mode. So they should be kind of just mixing it up, but no, they're being a bit strange. Seafarers there? No, they're out of ammunition, thank goodness. Just sort of staring me down. Over on this side, heading, trying to sort of mop up the last of Aden's assault. This red and black line, maybe a few little silver boys dotted in amongst it, but just a big mess of death. As Dabo's got more firepower coming over here. Looks like he's trying to shoot straight over into my forces, maybe? Oh, out of ammunition, maybe? Are we so lucky? No, they've still got more shots to come. But of course, Numenorians, Umbar, you've got lots of archers to spend lots and lots of arrows to be hurtling back and forth. Fires and Swordmasters there. You can see they've been fighting for an age now, up against some pretty decent quality enemies, and they've been getting shot at like crazy, and they're just down to 52 right now. They are absolute machines, as as they should be. So you can see again, trying to sort of wear down the line, getting little bits of damage done here and there. I am sort of slicing things down. This is so fragile on this end. Maybe I should. Looks like I've got Harbingers of Castamere coming over now. Trying to get sort of my elites. I want my elites to maybe push in from the left. Not really too much left to shoot at them. Anything that could shoot at them is maybe over here, so that building will keep them safe. And again, Axe Guard. What am I doing with that? Don't just shove them right in there when he pops. What are you doing? I need the attention over here. This is where we need our boys. Because right now, again, I'm still just causing this big blob. Looks like I'm getting some good work done now, though. We're battering through some of these forces now. We're getting into the juicy seafarers of Nindamos. I know they're still pretty badass fighters, but they're not on the same line as the true Numenorian cohort or Shield Guard. Yeah, you see the Axe Guard trying to push up from that right side, get that AP involved. They can't really get their charge bonus into effect. But I'm not trying to push through. That's, I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to use their mass to get through. I just want these Axe Guard to get up, get sort of mixed in amongst the enemy a little bit, and start hacking and slashing down. Got some Corsair crossbow assistance from Aden, which I'm standing right on top of, which is a little bit silly. Really need to get these Harbingers involved, get them over on that left side. So you're seeing the Lords of Anadune. Are there. So they have appeared. We can see, yeah, the Numenorians pushed out, wanting to sort of flank around me, wanting to finish off this side for good. But it's allowing us a chance to do some more damage to them. We've got my Sentinels as well, bringing them over. Rangers of Castamere. I got my boys sort of rattling shots in. Mostly coming into the left side of these forces, unfortunately, but again, should be pretty accurate fire. And I'm hoping to just deal with that cavalry, because the big worry is that cav is going to run out from our side and it's going to be able to start backstabbing the other positions. Because although myself and Aden are pretty low on numbers now, our allies still have a good bit left. They're still pretty healthy. So we do not want to have them worrying about cavalry chasing them and slamming them from behind while they're focusing on this. We need to keep the enemy penned in. So for us, although I'm still attacking on my section, we're sort of switching our focus now into more of a defensive role. Medex are making a push up here again, having some good success. It looks like Hidden is, well, letting him come in for now. Sort of losing ground to ensure he's got some good shooting positions. This is absolutely devastating, pushing up through here while you're getting blasted from, well, at least it's from the left side, but that would be a beautiful shot for anybody that's coming in there. But it looks like Hidden's not going to let him climb up. He wants this little fight to happen in this position, so it's something Medex has got to be quite careful of as he advances forward. Once again, he's by himself there, so if there's some sort of nasty break, there's no reinforcements there that can come in to support him. So still just grinding away here. But again, quite... I know it says victory now, but I felt okay with this situation. I felt like this was doing all right. My Axe Guard, you can see, even with that 2 level of armor upgrade, they are dying pretty quick to these exceptional Numenorians. Got my Harbingers, you see those massive 2-handed swords getting stuck in now, though. Once again, kind of just pushing in over there. I think I was just scared to try and get around behind him out of fear that there was something that was going to shoot me up, but I really should have just tried to push around that left side. I know the Royal Guard would have shot me, the worry would be the cavalry would charge me here and there, but still, I think it would probably be worth it. You can see here, this push now is coming up against my my narrow sentinels. So yeah, we're stabbing them down and keeping them back. This should be quite an efficient takedown, I'd hope. See the Royal Guard for myself coming back there for some reason. Good, got my archers coming around this side now just to ensure I'm not shooting shields. You can see Adam's got his boys positioned nicely as well. See if we can just get this formation dealt with as quickly as possible to free up my sentinels to once again be a bit of a threat on this side. Not saying, you know, we want to be charging, but at least we have that option available to us. Firepower, more firepower coming from Tyres up top with those shadow bows. Once again, just pouring into my blob of black and brown there. Yeah, pretty tasty, pretty tasty targets, but just trying to wear them out. Crossbows from Warlord and Winged advancing now again. What we got? Corsairs advancing there now too. I like the Merc units. You know, they're quite nice, quite grounded. It looks cool, but they still, it's always tough. As I say, it's something that I talk about a lot, especially like with Cardlin. This idea of like ensuring that your forces are quite grounded, but they also match the Tolkien sort of aesthetic that we've all grown to love. So it's something that, you know, you can look a bit too grounded, a bit too standard medieval, and it can make you end up looking, yeah, it looks what's the word, you know, out of place. And as well, that's something that's very difficult, like canned, when you've got something that's so strange, so otherworldly, as these guys from way out in the Far East, to just show up and yeah, but still matching that aesthetic, but still play this kind of role. Oh, that was a cool little spread, wasn't it? I like the way that those sentinels just advanced like that, but still play this role of being something that is meant to look strange. It's like, it's a bit odd, it's a bit different, but I can still see it existing in this world. We've got, yep, so the Numenorians that pushed at us there have been wiped out in the end. And I'm not really wanting to push forward again over here. As I say, we've kind of expended our resources and we don't want to let the enemy through. Belegar pikemen that have been saved here. Ooh, getting stabbed in the back a little bit, but hopefully they turn around. Those Farazim Swordmasters arrived down to 52 and hopefully pretty bloodied up after all that shooting and all that fighting. Shield Guard there coming around the flank. So it's a bit scary here. As Hidden's actually turned up with some of his shield guards, so yeah, Hidden doing that, playing that role well, and even these seafarers too, coming over to try and mop us up, wipe us out. It is a very tempting thing as a siege defender, when one of your attacking sides is really faltering, just to come forward harder and try and wipe them out, which is really what we're seeing. You are seeing to the south there my green forces advancing, my sentinels now, trying to, I guess I didn't want Tyres to forget about us here. I wanted them to know that no, you still have to pay attention. We still have some fight left in us, and also if I can have this fight sort of happen in a bit of a vacuum with a little bit of assistance from the blackguards, we should be able to deal with those steel bowmen quite efficiently. As long as my boys don't end up doing some weird little packs to the enemy situation, this should be all right. So yeah, some steel bows, more steel bows, and that fight's working out quite nicely for us. The Royal Guard coming on over, maybe cavalry is going to be having a role to play in that too. Got my Royal Guard over here. What am I trying to shoot at? Looks like a maybe... bit odd. Just want to keep them safe. Again, that's where I've got my general, so need him to be watched for. Harbingers here getting pushed back by that shield guard push. Sorry about a little bit of frame stuttering there. I don't know what's causing that. I think everything's just a little bit intense around this area for a minute. Lots of hacking, lots of slashing, lots of dying going on. Should be, because we won't really have as much in the way of like body piercing. Like frame stutters are maybe going to be a little less frequent than they were in the past. Oh, see, there's shadow bows. Damn, ouch. Yeah, so you've seen the shadow bows really rattling into my sentinels. Once again, left side, maybe the back on occasion. So although this was quite a nice fight, I didn't really know there were still those shadow bows just hiding on that slope. And that is definitely, oh, dearie me, just getting rattled down. Easy peasy here. Just having that extend that little bit further forward is so rough. But even then, if it stopped there, the defenders would hold this position instead, just to ensure that back shot. So my sentinels are not going to be long for this world, and the problem is that is going to allow the defenders to rush, or yeah, the sentinels are not going to be long for this world, and then this is going to allow the defenders a chance to rush out with their cavalry. Somebody's down to 50%. That's always a good sign. But yeah, shield guard here getting hacked into by my harbingers. But again, that AP is always going to be a bit of a menace. Got some Corsair crossbowmen still from Adden, giving some assistance. Definitely targeting the swordmasters. I don't think any swordmasters have died since we last saw them, but they haven't really been getting involved in the fight. Still got Corsairs. They're still active, but I brought so many of them, so they're gonna be. It was nice, you know, like I like the sort of the mix of just this fodder and then just mass armor upgrades across the line. Maybe went a little bit over the top in some stages, but it's definitely a cool test. I'll maybe have to mix it up a bit next time. You know, get some with max armor, some with a bit less. But either way, having my Belagar archers with that choice of getting 2 levels of armor upgrade is a really nice thing for me. So harbingers over here, they're going to be going toe to toe with the Farazim Swordmasters shortly. Farazim Swordmasters will wipe them out, but the harbingers are at least a unit that is capable of dealing some damage to them. They should be able to. They'll certainly hurt them, and leave them a little bit more bloodied for whatever they go for next. I've got my Royal Guard engaging now too. You can see the cavalry have run through. Now, over here, tucked away hidden, there's nothing these 16 rangers could have done to stop that push, so I just had them running out here and hiding. I saw it coming, I saw them running out, so I was like, right, just hide, let them run past, and then we'll see what we can do after. So we had to just let the boys know, let the other defenders know that the cavalry is out, the cavalry is free. And, sorry. Because, yeah, the last few of my sentinels have been wiped out there. As the defenders give a little celebration in return for that. Over here, still just cracking in. Harbingers down to 47. I say, if that fight, if we could just be taking on those Farazim Swordmasters in a bit of a vacuum, we could leave them very bloodied. You know, but those Farazim Swordmasters are, as standard, like 3 hit points, and they're just better. They're just better than us, but no, we're doing okay. Yeah, we're definitely hurting them. We're definitely hurting them. And once again, this fight is kind of equal or somewhat good for me, as I've got my Royal Guard clashing away. Dabo coming over. As the defenders look like they're leading a little bit of a push down now into Winged and Warlord's forces. Will be pretty damaging for them, but once again, it's a good way just to force the attackers to use up some of their fancy tools, and a good way to sort of inflict some quick losses on the attacking forces, if you're feeling pretty confident about your backline defenders. And yeah, because you're seeing Warlords just sending a bunch on to reinforce these lines. It's going to be exposing a lot of his, as I say, tools that he needs for later on to enemy fire. Dabo's got those sentinels waiting. Over here, the clash is still continuing. Looks like Medexa was able to sort of wait until Hidden rushed for him. And the fight is actually going somewhat in Medexa's favour. In most of these places anyway, even with those Farazim Swordmasters on the front line, it's working to be quite messy, but there's a lot of firepower here. You know, you're seeing those crossbowmen were going in, got javelins from the blackguards, got these close range crossbow shots as well from the Corsair crossbows. Out of ammunition, Belagar archers flooding in from Tyes. He's returning the favour. Now that there's not really anything for him to deal with. Those steel bows coming over, along with that some royal guard too. Because we are, let's say, just about gone, as another unit of cavalry comes flooding on out from Tyes. Or Ties. I don't know why I keep saying Tyes, but Ties. And it's not looking as pretty now for my forces. Some of these armouries have been pushed all the way down there. I do like when units sort of get bullied around the battlefield a bit. And we've got cavalry advancing now, so it's a bit risky for him. But I just do not want that charge. Maybe I did that a little bit early, going for a charge against him. Oh wait, but yeah, no, because see, what I was hoping was he just wasn't focused on them, and I'd actually be able to catch them off guard. I was close, but didn't make it. But yeah, so I just pulled them away, and while they were off the front line, that was definitely very messy for the for whatever forces were left. Just a handful of remaining Corsairs, 16 Corsairs, but the general's still amongst them, so that's sort of help. That's hoping to keep them in line. The Royal Guard as well, that's a nice unit to be fighting side by side with. And they're taking damage slowly, which is always a decent thing. So steel bow fire coming over into Warlord's forces, who again, yeah, ouch, you can see how quickly that damage is happening to the poor Blackguard. They've been kept safe from most firepower, so once again, you know, this push has exposed them. Filling myself up with more tea. Once again, you know, if there's ever like pauses where I'm not speaking, it's usually me, you know, gulping down some tea. So I will return shortly. Hopefully there is some little background music at the moment to fill in the silence. Merc crossbows still cracking in. I'm surprised the ammunition in those Merc crossbows. Okay, if we could get some shots in the back that fires some swordmasts, that'd be lovely. I think it's the amount of corpses around these areas that is just causing this frame stuttering right now. But yeah, it's quite tricky. I'm quite glad, because I know back in the day there used to be a lot more crashing than there is now. You know, I always find that like Reforged is quite stable now in comparison to how it was in previous times, which is very good to see. So I'm trying to get my Rangers. You saw a little mishap there as they tried to sort of run around the side instead of crossing the bridge. But yeah, I've got my Rangers of Castamere opening up. I'm no longer really as afraid of Cav. The Cav's quite far away. So it's only 16 guys, or well, 15 archers, as the case may be, because they still have that captain alive among them. But hopefully we can just be getting those shots in. Not too bad range, especially for especially for a ranger. Just pulling them. I was pulling them back. Why was I pulling them back? Maybe just trying to reposition them, perhaps. But yeah, just targeting down the Fires and Swordmasters. Still at 42. Let's say that's after dealing with a lot of Royal Guard, dealing with the Harbingers, or most of them anyway. Now at least we're getting some a little bit of ranger fire into these guys. If I can get these guys killed, you know, if my last act is basically wipe out what's over here, then that would be a pretty nice... Oh, this guy, where was he? Some seafarers were chilling out inside that building. They were waiting. They're just waiting until the battle was turning in their favor. Now they're jumping out. Good for them. Yeah, Fires and Swordmasters being pulled out. Yeah, you're seeing the occasional arrow. It's not too bad. I'm just hoping that it'll take them. Oh, that was a dead Firesman. That was a dead Swordmaster. Very nice. Cool. So yeah, and yeah, again, coming into the right side, which is great. So that's ignoring any shield value, which I believe the Fires and Swordmasters do have a shield value. But yeah, because it's not too many archers, I'm hoping this can go on a little while before they notice. But even if they do notice, it means that they need to pull, because where are the horses now? If we look, I know they were lurking about here for a minute. Over here? No, where are those? Where are those horses? Because they're still active, they're still around. Up here? Ah, okay, yeah. So the horses are all the way on the other side of the battlefield right now, pestering Medexa. It's both of them, or is it just, yeah, it's Hidden's got his horses, and also Ty's has his. So they'd have to run all the way across the battlefield to deal with me. And I'd be content with that. You know, if I'm wasting their time with that, and I'm exhausting them a little bit to make that journey, that is my general finally dropped, yeah. So the announcer is a bit confused. No, that was my general that just died there. That was not our noble brothers. But with him down, would be a big problem, but I mean, hell, even these Corsairs are okay. Down to 7 men, they're shaken, but I mean, hopefully they stay in, because right now these guys have sort of got like a little 3v1 going on with that shield guard. But yeah, no, Royal Guard should stick around. Oh, even with being backstabbed by the Pharisms, because those Pharisms have come around now, I'm not actually able to get a good shot on them, so I think I probably... Oh no, maybe some of these guys were still shooting at the Pharisms. But because, as I say, the quality of my troops that I've got left, hopefully they stay in it until the end here. Harbingers down to 7 now. Just trying to crack into that line. Maybe drop another Pharism or 2. Down to 29 now, though. So we have... We've hurt them, and I'm hoping, you know, you're seeing a lot of them that are bloodied. Hopefully that's down a hit point or 2 to those sort of godlike sword masters there. Finally, the Corsairs breaking, but to be honest, I'm pretty impressed with their display. Ah, yeah, I actually gave them an armor upgrade as well, so that's why maybe my Corsairs have been sticking around a bit longer, because they've received that armor upgrade. So they're super cheap anyway, but I do like to armor up my fodder. You know, I don't know if I'd give Orc fodder an armor upgrade, but yeah, I always just think that like upgrades seem to have much more an effect when it comes to those lower tier units. Like say if I'm giving a melee upgrade, you know, I'm always going to give a melee upgrade to a pikeman, because a pikeman's standard melee is what, 4, whereas say let's say a lower tier pike anyway, whereas a swordsman or a you know, a big axe guard, his attack might be like 8. So giving 1, you know, it means a lot more to the pikeman, is what I'm trying to get at, of course. Really just relying on the damage that we can put out from all of this crossbow fire at this time. I like that the only rear guard defense is this one unit of Corsair, or no, Corsair, mercenary crossbowmen. While there are 2 of the finest melee cavalry in Reforged sort of lurking around, ready to hunt their way through. But I like this little... Oh no, I thought that was a little switcheroo, but no, this is Ty's Numenorian forces there, squashing the last of the Harbingers of Medexa into that corner, just to slice them down, and then that will be Medexa's position cut off as well. How am I doing? Am I still kicking? Barely. I've had to adjust my my rangers over there. Still landing some hits in. 16 Pharism Swordmasters left. 17 of the Royal Guard. Hopefully these guys fight near enough to the last man. They won't, but if they can last down to about 5 guys, I'll be very pleased with them. But all the while, just continuing with that ranger fire. I like the rangers. You know, body piercing for me always felt like such an investment. I don't know. It was always like, if you didn't use it properly, it was like, oh well, that was a waste. You know, and I always felt sometimes like, if I wasn't getting like 300 kills with my rangers, it was like, oh yeah, that was a waste of money. Well, it wasn't. That was still quite a lot of damage. But yeah, in my brain, I still felt it was like, oh well, that was a bit of a waste. Whereas now the rangers, I'm probably going to be taking rangers a hell of a lot more, which I'm quite enjoying, because with my Rudar armies, I'm going to be packing rangers onto that near enough every time. Field battles, every siege defense, siege attack, I'm almost always... That's the last of Medexa, maybe. I'll almost always be taking the troops off... with Rudar, I'll almost always be taking the Herenadine Rangers. And that's great for me, because, as I say, they're aesthetically probably my favourite unit. I just really like the look of the Herenadine Rangers, so... but as I say, the idea of just taking this body-piercing archer, especially to a field battle, you know, it was tough. And not that you can't do some great work with body-piercing in field battles, but I always just felt like if I don't, then it's, as I say, it's such a waste. It's not great. Just zooming out, just to watch over my rangers, try and see if they want to send over a one of that cavalry units to deal with it. Shadowbows there from Dabo, shifting around, maybe to just rattle into those mounted crossbowmen there. I love that the Merc crossbowmen, you know, they come in with those harpoons, just two harpoons, jabbing in is really cool. Shadowbow is coming on into melee now too. Oh yeah, I don't actually know. I need to, at some point before I get rid of the current version of Reforged, I do want to do a quick little look at, you know, some of the stat differences, primarily focusing, as I say, on rangers. I'm just interested to see if we've done any difference to their like melee abilities, because that'd be a cool little switch as well. Because that's always something that I always felt like got forgotten about. But the rangers, in comparison to other archers, rangers were quite good in fights, just because of that kind of high defensive skill, and sometimes even sort of a high attack value too. You know, usually sort of very light armor, but that defensive skill was enough to keep them held. I like this little pile of tiles. Yeah, roof tiles. That's what you. Yeah. That's that. I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was a different word for them when they're on the roof. But yeah, the blackguards there. Again, I really should have just taken a unit of blackguards. Just one. You know, I think I could have gotten some good work with it during my attack. As we, you know, but now moving into the last 5,000 frames of the fight, the last push on this side. As I say, I think I'm gone now. Oh no, still what? There's still a Harbinger, still one Harbinger. I think the last of the Royal Guard have either routed or been grabbed. And that's, yeah, again, the announcer a little bit confused as to who he's talking from the perspective of, but that is me. Where are my Rangers? Did my Rangers get snagged by an enemy cavalry unit and I didn't spot it? Let's see, who's running all the way over here? Nope, not seeing him. Assuming. One boy. No, those are Corsairs. Where are my Rangers? Where are you boys? Did they get charged down? Yeah, here's where they were fighting. So I think we actually missed it, unfortunately. Yeah, he must have just swooped in with a unit of cav and grabbed them when I wasn't looking. But no, still 14. All the punishment those guys went through, all of the firepower I poured into them, and they've got 14 heroic fighters still remaining. One Numenorian cohort there, banner carrier. A couple, altogether 7 shield guard there from those 2 units. Some more shield guard here and some sentinels too. And yeah, just walking over a good flooring of corpses. I don't really want to call it a pile. It's just absolutely just coating the area. This is where we've got our final hopes resting on, really, the last attack here. Still with some firepower going out from the blackguards from this very small unit of Corsairs. 5 Corsair crossbows. Hey, if they're hitting their targets, then they'll be racking up some kills. This is the last push as well from the lords of Anadun. I don't actually know what that's referring to. Who or what is Anadun? I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation of it, but yeah, I don't actually know what they're talking about. Anyway, Corsair blackguards here from Wing, just trying to hold the back lines, slice through some of those horsemen. Royal Guard having to be pulled off the front line to go and answer to them now, though, as we get to the end of it. So probably I'll just settle here for a minute. I won't blitz through the list. I won't speed it up, I don't think. Let's zoom in the minimap a little bit. But yeah, cool. So as I say, very, very grateful for the boys for inviting me along with this one. It was definitely a good scrap, and for watching out for me during the attack there. I definitely, you know, I remembered a few skills as I was going through, and yeah, but I missed my javelins. Definitely screwed up not taking a unit of javelins, I think. Maybe got a little bit too excited about the Corsairs as well. I think I saw the cost of the Corsairs, and I was just like, yeah, no, of course, why not take 1 million off them? when maybe 3 Corsairs is enough. And I should have grabbed another unit of substance, because I think as well as that it was another well-timed shield wall push could have been it, and I definitely could have gotten through. But I think maybe, yeah, more aggression. I think I was looking at the fights and being like, oh no, this is an okay fight, I'm getting kills, when I should have really been looking at the idea of like, no, I need to break through, rather than just taking fights are going in my favor, you know? Because all the while I was taking those fights that were sort of, you know, as I say, man on man, maybe going in my favor, I was taking firepower, I was getting just, yeah, like rinsed by arrows, rinsed by javelins. So that was the big issue there. But no, it was a good fight. Definitely like a tough map, for sure. I think we were sort of chatting about that. It's definitely a tough map to be fighting on. But that's kind of what you want for a 5v3. You know, in a 5v3, you need the defenders to have some great positions. Because if they don't, then, oh god, it's rough. You know, 5v3 is, so you're always sort of relying on the attackers to make mistakes. And then when you're up against really quite good attackers, those mistakes are going to be showing up less and less. Even if you can be an amazing defender, if your attackers aren't doing things that you can abuse, it's very, very difficult to manage to pull out the win. You can have an amazing fight, you can you know, do your very best, but it's you know, and really give them a run for their money. But to actually win, as I say, I really feel you need to flip something on them. You need to get some work done in another way. Over here, no, nothing on any other part of the battlefield, I don't believe. But as I say, it's a cool map, and I could definitely, but once again, I mean, God, imagine if you pushed up there, you're getting shot there. The final defense position, yeah, I mean, Lord, if you're falling back to this position, it's pretty messy. But yeah, no, you could position something there, blocking. It's a nice, like, final, if you only got, like, 3 units left. A good place to just give them a chance. How many ways up? 1, 2, again. Yeah, you're shooting at them as they're trying to climb up there. You can blast them in the back. It's wild. But yeah, so definitely a powerful defensive map, but that's what would be expected from a Numenorian a Numenorian settlement, really, that they know is going to be getting struck by the likes of these dirty pirates. Few more of these javelins and crossbows coming in, trying to deal with the last of these sword masters. Hopefully, I'd hope that a crossbow's killing them with every hit now. No, some of them are getting dropped, but yeah, they're still so beefy. Even when they get taken down to that 1 hit point, they are going to take a lot of damage to bring them down for good. But yeah, so hopefully by the time this comes out, let's say this should be February. Fingers crossed, I've done a few more of these fights, because I'd say I've still got 2 weeks. Still got 2 weeks to try and get some games played, get some more stuff recorded. I mean, I'm glad that I've got these. I'm glad that I've had these videos recorded all the way into, or planned all the way until February at least. But the dream would be if I can get through to the end of March, then that would be great. Because then the end of March comes in, and I've only really got another month until I'm home, and that would be just, yeah, that would be good stuff. So is that it? What we still got fighting? No, still the crossbows. Still a handful of boys scrapping it out. I will set a 2x speed now. We'll just watch the... Oh, no, they're broken. Oh, okay. Last few fighters here. Okay, cool. But yeah, so, you know, that'd be the aim. But I think if I do manage to make it until, say, the end of March, or even the start of March, perhaps, I'll probably start to put any more videos I've got, just slot them in here and there. Because it'd be nice to get, like, 2 videos a week, some of the weeks, you know, 2 Reforged videos, 2 maybe Psalm videos, 2 Total War videos of some sort. A week would always be good, because I think that's nice to have, you know, especially right now with the excitement of the new patch coming out. So you can see I did rack up some good kills there, but that was mainly because, you know, Adin was just absorbing the firepower that was coming my way. We got, yeah, Winged really just pouring shots into them. Mid-X actually doing quite well over there by himself. Having a little look through my boys. Yeah, the Harbinger's not really oh no, sorry, these are add-ins. So we've got all of the attacker skills here. You can see the Harbinger's there getting busted up. The Blackguards, yeah, you know, that's what you expect. These poor guys got shot to pieces before they were able to unleash their fire, it seems. I'll do me at the end because I sort of understand my units a bit better. But we're just going to call it anything crazy. Those Merc Crossmen, 219, that's very nice. 137 in this scenario up against, you know, Numenor is still really quite impressive. And a general in with the Sentinels, that's an interesting plan, Warlord. It keeps them in check, I guess. But no, yeah, very cool. I often feel like my general feels unsafe when he's in pikes, because I always put pikes in sort of the most dangerous positions, and and they can do that because they've got this long range. The general doesn't. The general's still swinging there with his sword. He's not got a long range weapon. But yeah, you can see most people a little bit careful, just 2 Corsairs. But then you've got, oh, your winged swordsman was on my side. He had quite a lot, but even then he only had 5. Yeah, there's me with my blooming 6 Corsairs. So you see the Rangers not really getting great kills. They were shot to pieces. They didn't get to use up all their ammunition, and keep in mind how much time I was spending just shooting the likes off the Fires and Swordmasters, you know. Royal Guard there again, shooting high quality targets. High armor targets, not really getting great shots throughout, and then just getting thrown into melee. Harbingers, yeah, fighting some decent stuff too. Sentinels doing okay. One of them definitely could have gotten a lot more kills, but I shouldn't have advanced them forward like that. That was a bit silly. Got a little bit glory hungry. Oh, 16 for one of those pikemen. Dearie me, man, that's not good. 50 is a little. I'd want more, especially when you look at the footmen. I was pretty chuffed with the footmen. I know, like, you look at the kills compared to the casualties, but keep in mind what they're sort of fighting, and on the attack, you're never really going to get that many kills. Axe Guard there, 96 is pretty good, but keep in mind again the mass investment I'm spending in these guys. Max armor upgrades, it's a lot. So all of my Corsairs there, just being meat for the grinder pretty much. 33 from one of them is quite nice, and then the Belgar Archers too. You know, primarily just there to take fire and exchange with the enemy archers, but yeah, no Balkith, so no Balkith marksman as well. But I mean, I think that the Rangers kind of take that position now. And I mean, maybe you can get 2 without going into the red limit now that I think, because we don't have Balkith archers. That could be the case. But anyway, Umbar's still got no shortage of like high quality archers with the Royal Guard and so on as well. But anyway, cool. Thank you guys very much, and I will see you later.